To understand Achieng, you must first understand the house she returned to every evening. It sat at the end of a dirt lane, squeezed between two other structures that seemed to lean against it for support, like tired men holding each other upright. The walls were made of rough concrete blocks, unpainted, weathered to the color of old teeth. The roof was corrugated iron that sang a violent song when it rained and baked the interior to temperatures that felt like punishment when the sun was high. There was no electricity that stayed consistent. The power came and went according to moods that no one could predict, leaving the house in darkness more often than not. Water, it was hauled from the community borehole that sat stagnant and green at the edge of the settlement. The toilet was a pit latrine at the back of the compound, its smell a permanent resident that no amount of lime could evict. Achieng's mother was a woman who had been beautiful once, before the children came, before the husband left, before the second husband arrived with his armchair and his expectations. Now her face was a landscape of exhaustion, her eyes sunken, her movements mechanical. She moved through the house like a woman performing a series of tasks she had long ago stopped believing in. Each chore a station of a cross she carried without complaint, because complaint required energy she no longer possessed. The stepfather was a presence more than a person. He occupied the armchair in the sitting room, with the territorial certainty of a king on a throne that no one had elected him to. He worked when work was available. Construction sites, loading docks, anything that paid in cash and asked no questions. When he was home, his bulk filling the small space, his voice carrying the weight of authority that he had never earned but always assumed. There were younger siblings. Achieng had stopped counting how many exactly, because the numbers seemed to shift according to which cousins were staying, which neighbors had left their children. For just a week, that stretched into months, the house was never quiet. There was always a baby crying, a toddler wailing, a child demanding attention that no adult had left to give. Achieng's corner was in the kitchen, if you could call it that. It was a space defined by function rather than architecture. A concrete floor, a three-stone fireplace, a wooden shelf that bowed under the weight of mismatched plates and cups. She slept on a thin mattress on the floor, her body curled into itself for warmth during the cold hours before dawn, spread-eagled and gasping during the suffocating heat of midday. She woke every morning at 4:30 a.m., not because she wanted to, but because her body had been trained by necessity to operate on the schedule of survival. The first task, heat water for the younger children's baths. The second, scrub the clothes that had been soaking overnight in a plastic basin. The third, prepare the jiko for the day's cooking. The fourth, walk to school. The walk took 45 minutes, in the dark, before the sun rose. It felt like walking through a tunnel that might never end, but Achieng used that time. She recited chemical formulas. She constructed essays in her head, paragraph by paragraph, transition by transition. She solved geometry problems using the stars as reference points, the moon as her protractor. Her strategy was flawless, her intellect sharp and uncompromising. She had mapped every variable, accounted for every contingency, built a fortress of preparation that no exam could breach. The execution, however, forgot to account for the physical vessel that carried it.